You have no job and graduated from middle school penniless. I'm done with you. I'm not going to let an old woman parasite in me. Never. Just pack up your stuff and get out of here. I've been marrying you for a long time, so be grateful. In other words, you want a divorce? Then he laughed in a high-pitched voice. Don't ask me back. You know what I mean. Should I make it clear? You're just not smart enough to get it on you. Are you going to divorce me and remarry my sister? They looked at each other in surprise. My name is Jane. I live with my husband Tim. I'm in my late 50s. He's 5 years younger than me. I have a younger sister, and she and my husband went to college together. My sister is the reason I met my husband. We have 2 children. Both are now independent and have families of their own. At my age, I often think of the past. A lot has happened to me in my life up to this age. I'm happy to have had 2 children, but with my husband, I'm not happy at all. He makes fun of my education experience, and he's got no job. You don't even know that? That's why you only have a middle school degree? This is what my husband always said to me when we have an argument. My husband is right. I did only graduate from junior high school. I was hoping to go to high school. After all, I didn't hate learning. But we were so poor at that time. In those days, the internet was not yet widespread, and the world was very small. So I did as my parents told me and graduated from junior high school and got a job. But my sister, who is 5 years younger than me, graduated from college. That's because I worked hard to get her through college. It's not easy to earn a living with what I had, so I didn't want her to suffer the same. I decided to work harder. Fortunately, my sister was an excellent student. She got into an elite university, and of course, my husband was a classmate of hers. So, he's from there too. And he's so proud of it. When we argued, he'd used his education as an excuse. When we first met, he never showed any sign of it. So when we got married and had our first daughter, I was at the height of my happiness. But gradually, my happiness began to disappear. At the time, it was common for people to quit their jobs when getting married. I was going to quit my job and focus on my child, but my husband never allowed it. He wanted me to work full-time while taking care of the house and raising our child. He quit his job when our first son was born. I was expecting him to allow me to be a housewife then, so that I could focus on the house chores, but he did nothing. Housework and childcare were still my job. If he doesn't help me with anything, I thought at least he could bring money to the family. I'm not sure I can raise 2 kids on my own. I was worried about money. 6 months after he quit his job, I suggested him, "Hey, it's time for you to get a job." "Who do you think you're talking to?" "You're the only one in front of me. It's been 6 months. Are you going to stay unemployed?" "You think you can tell me what to do?" "Oh, not again." "Unlike you, who graduated from junior high school, I'm someone greater." "I'm happy for you. Then I guess you'll get your final goal soon." "If I want a job, I get a job. And you don't get to choose your job. I'm able to choose." "Oh yeah? Well then, pick one though." "I can't." There's no job I want to do. He may have graduated from an elite university. He may be good at study, but he has zero ability to earn a living. If he doesn't do anything, his degree from a fancy university is just a decoration. Then, at least do something for the family. What kind of idiot are you? It's ridiculous for me to do it, isn't it? It's you who gave birth to the children. You should be grateful. The reason I've been with this man for years without getting divorced is because of the circumstances we had. In our generation, people would stab you in the back if you got divorced. And the mother is not the only one who gets attacked. The children will be the target of unwanted rumors. I really don't want that happens. But they're both grown up now. I think it's okay to cut it off with him. I'm almost ready to retire, and I'm thinking that a divorce at this age would be a good idea. Just thinking about it makes my future look brighter. And I've been studying for my high school equivalency exam for a while. Now that kids are grown-ups, I have more free time to study. As a result, I passed the exam. Of course, I haven't told my husband about it. I know he would make fun of me if I told him. The other day, I received a letter of acceptance. I received a phone call from my sister. Hey, how's going? I'm coming now. You're home, right? What's going on? Well, I'm home. Okay, I'm at the station. Unlock the door in 10 minutes. Oh, hey! She hung up on me. 10 minutes later, my sister really came. What's wrong? How is your husband? We got divorced. What? When? Oh, when was it? It was, 6 months ago? I didn't know that. I didn't tell you so. By the way, do you have an extra room in the house? No, we don't. Yes, you do. The kids are all grown up. Yes, but we still have room for them in case they want to come over. I've left their rooms as they are. Then the guest room is empty. Well, it is. I'll just stay there then. Okay. I'll start living here from today. Wait a minute. Isn't it too urgent? No, it's not. I've got Tim's permission. That's right. I told her to come over if she's in trouble. My husband just came home from the convenience store. Why do you decide that without me? It's strange. Your sister's in trouble. You're supposed to help her, aren't you? That's why middle school graduates are idiots. You're right, and she doesn't help people. Judy got together with Tim and against me. I know, she's always been like this. Even thought I can't stand it anymore. I did my best for her. She's still my family. But I can't help but feel a bit bitter about it. After that, my opinion was just air. I started living with Judy. And I'm the only one who works in this family. Judy and Tim did nothing every day. If you're going to stay at someone's place, at least help out. Why? Tim isn't paying or doing anything. Oh, Jen, you must have had a hard time after graduating from middle school. You're really obsessed with money. I was shocked, and after a while, Judy and Tim started going out together. What bothered me the most was their behavior to each other. I don't think they are not aware of this, but it's as if they are lovers. I see. I'll have to figure it out. the truth of this too. It won't be surprising if it was a relationship from now on, because they don't have common sense. I hired an agency to investigate them, and a week later, the results were just as I expected. They were having an affair. When I told my children this, they agreed with me to get a divorce. Now I have no more regrets. I decided to wait for the perfect time to get divorced. While they were gone, I studied for my law degree. It all started when I was working as a janitor at a lawyer's office. While I was working there, an employee of the law firm told me that he had passed the bar exam at the age of 69. I was deeply impressed. I thought it was amazing that someone in his 70s could have a goal and challenge something. After hearing that story, I decided that I wanted to take the challenge too. And then the day came for me to retire. I come home and Tim and Judy had a strange smile on their faces. I want to talk to you. What is it? You retired from today, right? That means you're unemployed. How are you going to make a living? You have no job and graduated from middle school penniless. I'm done with you. I'm not going to let an old woman parasite me. Never. Just pack up your stuff and get out of here. I've been married to you for a long time, so be grateful. In other words, you want a divorce? Then he laughed in a high-pitched voice. Don't ask me, Pat. You know what I mean. Should I make it clear? You're just not smart enough to get it, aren't you? Are you going to divorce me and remarry Judy? They looked at each other in surprise and started laughing again. You knew it. Then let's make it quick. I don't need you anymore. If you really don't want to leave, I can consider it if you get down on your knees. That won't be necessary. I wanted to divorce this man when I retired, so this is convenient for me. Then sign this. I took the divorce papers out of my bag. The two of them froze, with their mouths hanging open. Please, do it quickly. I'm leaving. How come it's you to prepare the divorce papers? Because I was thinking of getting a divorce. I thought if I was going to get a divorce too, this would be the right time. I changed my clothes for the last time. Tim, hurry up, let's go. Isn't it nice that Jen is going anyway? Tim signed the divorce paper at her urging. Okay, that's all. I checked his entry without hesitation. I guess he didn't like my attitude. He's still swearing. Well, you're a middle school graduate. You're going to die soon, you know that? Oh, I don't know about that. Please, both of you. My voice was cue for the kids to come into the living room. Here, hold this so he doesn't tear it up. Okay, I got it. You guys are really gross. You're the worst father ever. Graduating from a fancy university is such a big honor for you, but it doesn't do anything for your life. You're happy with your decoration and you've been unemployed your whole life. That's really stupid, don't you think? What? The truth is my daughter beat him to the punch. You're really a dumb, unemployed old jerk. Okay, kids, that's too true. You guys are so honest. I've got proof of your affair. Wait to pay us the alimony. Well then, I left the house with my children. After that, they had no money. They should have paid me $1 million. That's the price they paid for not having a job. I guess they borrowed money from a dangerous lender who lent money to people with no job and no grasp of orders, and then I filed for divorce and became a free person. Now I can finally concentrate on my studies. I worked part-time as a cleaner and studied hard. As a result, I was accepted into the law school of my choice. After 4 years of study, I completed the graduate school, and I managed to pass the bar exam. Then became the lawyer I always wanted to be. My children, accompanied by their families, they threw me a little party. My life was so wonderful. But you know what they say about those two were looking for me? How do I know that? My ex-husband came to my new house. Please, help me. I heard him crying outside. Your sister Judy, she doesn't work at all. We have no money. I went to the kids. They won't see me. Of course not, you idiot. What do you mean? I say you're an asshole. You say you will be something great. All you had was a college name. You've got nothing to live for. Don't be stupid. You're just trying to get on your good side. You're just a middle school graduate. You're not even close to me. Actually, I just passed the bar. Anyway, I'll fall to the same level as him if I flaunt my education here. Now, you're asking for money from who you've always made fun of. It's hilarious. I mean, why do you live in such a nice place? I do, because of my job. You work? Yeah, I do. I used to be a janitor at a law firm. What do you mean? You're a private cleaner? Yeah, I am. I clean my own desk. Your desk? What are you talking about? I left the door chain on and opened the door. Here you go. I showed my ex-husband my lawyer badge. He just froze. You know, if you don't give up, you can make your life as long as you want. If you continue to follow me around like this, we will fight you in the court. I said that much and closed the door loudly. After that, my ex-husband never came at me again. Judy did once, but I told her the same thing and she never showed up again, just like him. The two of them, who are only educated, will continue to fall apart without any effort. I guess they'll just keep on going down the path they're on. If you don't give up in life, anything is possible. Jen is a person of hard work. She deserves our respect. Let's glad her children are fully on her side. Hope Jen has a fulfilling life. Thank you for watching to the end. Please subscribe to our channel if you like. See you in the next video.
Fine, then just transfer the money.
What?
You should transfer the money to her account. You know she's having a hard time. You gave her most of your salary, didn't you? I don't think it's necessary. You are such a cold person. My name is Kelly, 32 years old. I work at a tax accountant's office in Tokyo. My husband, Louis, is 2 years younger than me, and we met at the bar where he works. We met each other at our workplace, and then we became friends, and after a year of dating, we got married. My husband grew up from a very different place from mine. He grew up in an institution. He doesn't have a father since little. He lived with his mother and grandmother in his grandmother's house. Then his mother just disappeared, and a year later, his grandmother passed away, leaving him alone in the world. He has been living in an institution since he was 10 years old. He doesn't like talking too much about his child. I don't want to give him too much pressure, so I never asked. So when we got married, my parents asked me if I was okay that our background were so different. I told them that I liked him. and there was no problem. Which is the truth. However, I was not 100% about that. My husband is a quiet but very caring and gentle person. I think we could support each other in our lifetime. Sadly, after 2 years of marriage, everything is starting to be out of track. It all started when my mother-in-law appeared in front of us. She just showed up from nowhere, but it was an emotional reunion. My mother-in-law and my husband were sobbing dramatically. However, when I saw the two of them crying together in front of the entrance of our apartment, my heart was not touched at all. Instead, I thought she was a rather selfish mother. "I'm so sorry, it has been a long time. I was dealing with some financial problems and I didn't want to drag you into it." "I know. I've been looking for you for a long time. I didn't know how to tell you, especially since I lost my house. But I'm glad to finally meet you." "Yeah, me too." I think my husband was genuinely happy to see his mother again. But after all, she dumped him at the most important timing. To me, she's just an irresponsible mother. If she was chasing by the debt collector, then how couldn't she worry about that when she left her house? They were turned on her child and mother. If something horrible like this did happen, Louis would not have forgotten. It doesn't make any sense to me. What comes off of my mind is the scenario that my mother-in-law chased some guy and abandoned the child. She dyed her hair blonde and wears a miniskirt not for her age, deep neck top. Her voice sounds like she drinks tons of alcohol every day. No, I should never judge a person by the appearance, I told myself. Louis is so happy to see her. I should be happy for them. If they are happy to see each other again, that's all. Again, I told myself strongly. It was nice to see you today, and I hope we get to see each other again. I'm sure we will. Thank you, but I don't know if I can come here again. Why not? I don't have a place to live right now. Oh, I see. Louis looked at me. Oh no, I just told myself not to do this, but isn't it improper to do this? You can't just come out of the blue and tell your son you don't have a place to live. If you really care about your children, you wouldn't do something that would be the burden on their lives. I don't think common sense would apply to a mother who suddenly disappeared from home. The look in Louis' eyes is a "let her stay at home please" look. Christ, I don't like it. But there is no proof that she did this on purpose. Maybe I'm thinking it too much. I should help here. I made eye contact with Louis as agreement. Mom, come live with us. Really? Thank you. My, that's a very quick thank you. Do you know how to pretend? That's getting more and more suspicious. Thank you so much. From today, we're going to live together. It seems she came and lived with us without feeling a little bit sorry. Since she came, Louis looks painful, but tried taking care of his mother very patiently. Well, never thought she would be any harmful. I looked her with a warm heart. I thought Louis must want to do something that he couldn't do in his childhood. However, within 2 weeks of his Mother's Day, the real her showed up. It happened to be when Louis went shopping at a store and I was on a late shift. This was the first time we were alone. So, you are a tax account. What is the mother? She was in completely different tone of voice. Yes, I am. You must have a lot of money saved up. Oh, I hate this conversation. You talk very differently when Louis isn't here. He loves me, you knew that. He won't believe a word you say about me. By the way, you're earning money, right? Lend me some money. I don't want to. Come on, you should. Someone who earns money like you lends money to people in need like me. It's economy. I've never heard such a theory. Oh, this is why kids today are no good. You don't know anything about the world. Hurry up and give me the money. I'm not going to do that. After that, whenever we were alone together, it was all this kind of conversation. As Louis' mothers had planned, I could not tell Louis about this. I just couldn't say anything to Louis, who was like mother this, mother that in front of me. Moreover, it was obvious that we would end up fighting if I told him. The first part is important, so I tried to be patient, but my patience was limited to 1 month. Just as I was about to ask her to leave, to my surprise, she told me she was leaving the house. This is a blessing I could not have wished for. Mom, are you really leaving? Yeah, I can't keep bothering you and Kelly forever. We're not that kind of people, and you can stay with us forever. Us? Stop with the pearls. I'm happy for it. Thanks. I found a new apartment. They said I don't even need a guarantor there. I won't have to bother you guys. That's right. Come. I'll show you now. It's only a 5 minutes walk from here, so let's go for a walk. Louis anxiously followed his mother. From then on, I started to lose my trust on Louis. Ever since his mother showed up, I have been neglected. My love matter for Louis, who puts his mother's wishes before everything else, was beginning to decrease. We followed her to the apartment and were surprised to see it. It was an incredibly shabby apartment. I believe it was a famous haunted house in this area. Louis saw this and looked at his mother with tears in his eyes. Mom, let's go back to our home. It's okay. I'll live here. Just come visit me if you can. And his mother left our house the next day. But this was a trick of his mother. Louis fell into the trap made by his mother. Hey, Kelly, can you help my mother somewhat? Why should I? You saw that apartment. Don't you feel sorry for her? Yes, that was his mother's trap. She is trying to get money from us. I will never give it to her. Louis is completely not aware of this shabby trick. I won't give any money to your mother. Why not? Because she has rented an apartment, which means she has money. She is working somewhere. She does go out. She doesn't work. She's volunteering at the nursing house during the day. Volunteering. What a lie. I'm not going to believe that woman is a volunteer. I can't even think about that. What's your point? No, nothing. Anyway, I don't pay for it. Louis looked at me coldly. Kelly, you're fine as long as it's good enough for you, aren't you? What do you mean by that? Kelly, you make a lot of money than I do, and you think that I should listen to you. What are you talking about? When did I say that? It's in your attitude. Mom's attitude. She said Kelly is a little scary. I bet she left because of you. I'm gonna cry. What did he see in me so far? You know nothing, and now you start to blame all the things on me? You don't even know your mother. You don't know what I've been going through ever since your mother showed up. Have you ever really think about it? Don't you dare blame me like that. After the big fight that day, our relationship collapsed. We didn't speak to each other for days, but a few days later, I received a phone call from Louis. I picked up the phone to see what was going on. You are at work, right? Yeah. I'm really sorry, but I need you to go visit my mother. Why? Mom hurt her leg. She's having a hard time now. She'd be happy if you were there for her. And I can't leave the store today because I have a vendor coming in. So it means a lot if you can be there, Kelly. Alright, I'll show up after work. Thanks. Long sighed after I hang up the phone. Even though things are getting rough with us, Louis called me when it was something about his mother. I feel more and more empty. I take the divorce papers out of the drawer and stare at them. I guess I'll just have to put an end to it. And after work, I headed for the haunted house. You are late. My mother-in-law's leg was bandaged. How are you feeling now? Not well. That's why you're here. Hurry up and make me some tea. She only gave the order and sat down on the sofa, limping. I reluctantly prepared a cup of tea from the cupboard. Why is there a passbook here? The passbook was at the far end of the cupboard. I glanced at my mother-in-law. She is enjoying watching TV. I quietly picked up the passbook and checked its contents. Oh no, I couldn't help but come up with the sound. Shut up! Can't hear the TV. How long did it take for making a cup of matcha? Safe. She didn't notice. She keeps complaining while watching the TV. Looking closely, I see that she has a nice collection of teacups and dishes. I realized everything. Please have your tea, and then I'm going home. What are you talking about? Where's dinner? Why don't you call it for yourself? Then you're paying for it. I don't think I should. You have so much money, Mother. My mother-in-law, who saw the passbook in my hand, stood up quickly. It's mine. Don't you dare not give it back to me. There was no way that she, who was only about 5'5", could reach the hand that I, who was 5'10", has raised. As I headed straight for the front door, she came at me with great force. Oh, I thought you broke your leg. You were limping just now. Just give it back to me. I left her house. When I returned home, Louis greeted me. Thank you for doing this for me. My mom must have been in a lot of pain. No, she was perfectly fine. No, she could not be. She must been feeling down. So you gave her the money? From the looks of it, he hadn't heard from his mother. What money? You didn't give me any money. No, don't you feel sad when seeing my mother's pain? She's in desperate need of money, so I thought you would give her some. So, you think I should be the one to give her the money? Louis sighed loudly. Fine, then just transfer the money. What? You should transfer the money to her account. You know she's having a hard time. You gave her most of your salary, didn't you? I don't think that's necessary. You are such a cold person. I thought you'd understand when you saw mothers in pain. I've wasted so much time thinking about it. What is it that you've been thinking about? Is that your mother's been trying to pretend to be weak? Because you are not nice at all. This is the only way. I don't know what else to say. I threw the passbook at my husband. Look at this. Do you still think she's poor? Come on, wake up. What do you mean? Why does she have $70 million? I don't know. That woman has money, and yet she's still trying to squeeze money from us. I mean, come on, man, face the truth. At the first place, she left you alone on this age, and then all of a sudden just showed up, asking if she could live together, and then keeps asking for money not only from you, but from me too. She's been asking me for money when you're not here. What makes you think that this is the person you should be protecting? That woman is nothing more than a hustler. If you still want to protect your mother, I won't say anything. But I want a divorce. I'm sick of it. You don't believe me even now. On the contrary, you try to set me up. You and your mother are just alike. Living in a shitty house, trying to take some money from me. You are just like your mother. I probably forgot something I wanted to say, but that's okay. I'm sure I don't understand how my husband believed in his mother that much. He has been waiting for her for a long time. I couldn't tell him that he's unloved and exploited. After that, my husband and I divorced. I didn't get alimony. This is the last mercy. I could not take the money from him after his beloved mother cheated him out of money, and of course no share of the common property. We agreed that our savings should be remain to our own separately. A month later, Louis was waiting for me in front of my office. I told him just say what he wants by standing there. He told me something unbelievable. My mother-in-law got arrested for theft and fraud. She had been cheating elderly people at the nursing house, where she volunteered by asking them for the PIN numbers and passbooks. The elderly people's families faltered and reported her to the police. She's in jail now. And then I heard that she got arrested again after other crimes came one to another. Fortunately, the money she tried to get from Louis was safe. The money was returned to the victims. Louis told me this, apologized, and disappeared from my presence. It was so sad to see his back. Thus ended my short marriage, but I'm glad it ended. The dark side of Louis was too much for me. I hope to find someone I can truly be with someday. I think I'm done with marriage. I'm more comfortable chasing numbers. I'm going to work harder and harder, and I might open my own office someday. This is my new goal for the time being. The mother-in-law is so obsessed with money, and the way Louis dealt with it was sad. Parents are a big part of child's character development, aren't they? Louis is truly a victim of his mother. Hope Kelly and Louis would have a bright future. Thank you for watching to the end. Please subscribe to our channel if you like. See you in the next video.
You gotta be kidding me. You're the one with the problem. Why haven't you paid for the accommodation? Because you're the one who left me. Just bring the money here. I'm not going to, because I'm the one who was left behind. I didn't want to go on that trip in the first place. My husband and I have been married for 6 years. Our 5-year-old daughter is adorable, and watching her grow up day by day is the best part of my life. However, the relationship between my husband and I is at its worst. I quit my job when my child was 1 year old, and my husband told me that if I'm not working, I would have to do all the house chores on my own. So I did all the housework and raised the child by myself. When my daughter was newborn, I had a hard time getting enough sleep. I even asked my husband for help. But his answer was that he would divorce me anytime if I had a problem with it. He showed me the completed divorce papers and put them in a drawer in front of me. Then, every time something happened, he would pull out this paper and mention divorce with a disgusted look on his face. And my mother-in-law, who raised such a son, is just like my husband. I have a good news for you today. My mother-in-law visits all of a sudden, opens the fridge without asking, and starts eating my son's yogurt. My mother-in-law always comes over out of the blue, and if that was all she did, I could still put up with it. She would lecture me about how a wife should be on and on after my husband had complained about me. She would look for dust in the corners of the house and criticize about me. I don't trust her when she tells me that she has a good news for me. What's wrong with you? You should look happier that I'm going to tell you good news. You are really not nice. My son is right. What's the news? We're going on a trip. I see. Where to? It's your job as an unemployed person to decide that. What do you mean? You're really not very smart either, are you? It's so unfortunate. I have a surprise for my son, who always works so hard. A surprise? Yes, let's all help him relieve his fatigue. The point is this. My mother-in-law wants to go on a trip with her son, but she doesn't want to pay for it herself. So she came up with an idea to invite me and my daughter on this trip too, and she wants to make me pay for it. Who would want to go on such a trip? I definitely don't want to go. Besides, we can't afford it. Let's make it a grand trip. No, I never said that I was going. Let me think about this for a while. I finished the conversation with my mother-in-law while not knowing what to do. When my husband came home that night, he was in a very bad mood. I could see why. My mother-in-law must have told him, I heard you disobeyed my mother today. I was just telling the truth. What? Are you saying that we can't take her on vacation? That's right. We don't have that kind of money. My mother-in-law said it was a surprise, and she already told my husband about the trip. What's the surprise in this? If we're not managing our finance well, it's your fault. How can I manage what we don't have? Are you trying to say that I don't make enough money? Well, it's not much. You gotta be kidding me. Anyway, I'm definitely going on this trip. You better plan everything. That's an order. If you can't do it, we're getting a divorce. I might as well get a divorce now. But what will my daughter think? That's the only thing I'm worried about. At the end, I had to look for the hotel when I wasn't even sure about the trip. However, after she spoke with my husband, my mother-in-law started to get very picky. I want a room with an open-air bathtub. The meals should be the most luxurious at the hotel. And so on. I wondered how much it would cost if I accommodated such requests. But if I did not listen to her requests, I would be subjected to another storm of sarcasm. I decided to take a certain action shamelessly. Then, I was able to fulfill all of my mother-in-law's requests. My mother-in-law's tension was very high and annoying when she found out about it. She said something incomprehensible. It's because I suggested everything to her. Really, it was thanks to my mom that you were able to get the accommodation. My husband started lecturing me over dinner, as usual. However, I had endured this for 4 years and perhaps had already become immune, so I just let him talk away. The only thing that saved me was that my husband did not burst into sarcasm in front of our daughter, as if he was not comfortable with showing this side of him to his daughter. On the day of the trip, I am sitting in the driver's seat. I was the one who rented the car, and of course, I am the one driving. My husband is just sitting like he owns the place in the passenger seat. My mother-in-law was in the back seat, not listening at all to my daughter. Instead, she's talking to herself about some souvenirs. I have been driving all morning, but neither my husband nor my mother-in-law show any signs of offering to help. I was not allowed to take a break, and we finally stopped at a service area when my daughter asked to use the restroom. I quickly took my daughter to the restroom and hurried back to the car. But the car was gone. I circled the parking lot, looking around in a panic, but the car was nowhere to be found. Thinking there was no way, I called my husband. But there was no answer, so I called my mother-in-law. "You guys came back too late." My mother-in-law laughed and said we were too late and she had left us. I tried to tell her that I had just gone to the bathroom for a few minutes, but my husband's voice interrupted me. "It's your fault that this happened, because you don't obey me. You have no right to go on this trip." Was that your plan all along? If so, then what? I'm fine, but what about our daughter Nina? She's the same as you. She's been acting cocky lately. She talked back at Mom for complaining about you. She needs to be spanked too. But she was looking forward to this trip. So, I'll think about it again when you're both sorry. If you understand it, you can go home now. My husband hung up the phone. Well, what to do now? It's indeed a long way home from here. Mom, are you okay? Did Dad and Grandma leave us? I guess so. They're so mean, aren't they? Yeah, I think so too. Are we going home? Yeah, but you've been looking forward to this trip. But only because it's with you, Mom. If you're going home, I want to go home too. Then let's go on an adventure together. Adventure! My daughter's carefree smile saved me. I then contacted my friend Lisa, who lives a short distance from here, and told her what had happened. She immediately came to pick me up and take us home. Hey, what are you going to do? My friend made sure my daughter was asleep before she started talking. I think I'm getting a divorce. That's good. You put up with it for a long time. Yeah, and I definitely don't want this husband who harms my daughter anymore. I signed the divorce papers in the drawer and asked Lisa to fill in the witness box. My mother-in-law's name was already written in the other witness box. Thanks to this, I was able to file the divorce papers right away. 3 days after returning home from the service area, my phone rang as soon as I dropped my daughter off at the kindergarten. You gotta be kidding me. You're the one with the problem. Why haven't you paid for the accommodation? Because you're the one who left me. You should have paid in advance. Oh, really? Besides, why should it cost $6,000 for the hotel? It's the result of fulfilling all your favorite mother's wishes. Get over here now with the money as fast as you can. I'm not going to because I'm the one who was left behind. I didn't want to go on that trip in the first place. You and your mother had a great time there, so why don't you split it? That would be $3,000 per person. At that moment, I heard a woman's voice on the other side of the phone. It's time for you to pay. If you don't pay, I will call the police. No problem. My wife will pay. She's on her way here right now. Where is your wife now? At home. I checked your address, but it looks like you're a long way from home. You left her in the service area and you're telling her to come just to pay? Excuse me? Your wife and I have been friends since high school. I was the one who picked her up and your daughter from the service area. I shamelessly asked my old friend for her help for this trip. Then she told me that she would offer me the hotel that she runs as the owner for free. When we were still in high school, she was struggling with her future. Her family owned the renowned hotel, but she had other dreams. As the only daughter, she was unable to fulfill those dreams, so she took over the hotel in tears. She said that I was the one who cheered her more than anyone else at that time. She felt that she owed me for it, and this time she returned the favor. I told her that she did not have to pay if she would stay at the hotel. But she's not here. I have no personal connection with you. In other words, you are simply hotel guests. Since you are just guests, I would like you to pay the full price. Alright, look, why don't you pay with your credit card for now and charge it to your wife later? I don't want to do that. It's not that you don't want to, it's that you can't. Wait, what do you mean? Because your son's salary is $1,200. The credit card limit is $3,000 at most. What do you mean? Your wife is lying. You said you were getting a good salary. My husband just stood in silence. He's a salesman, and if he gets a contract, he gets an incentive and paid more. However, my husband, who has a low sales, only receives the minimum guaranteed salary. Therefore, the amount of money is not anywhere near what he can afford. Don't tell me you're going to pay out of your savings. That's for the divorce payment, the alimony, and child support. What the hell are you talking about? I filed for divorce. Did you say you would divorce me anytime? Thank you. I submitted it that day as fast as I could. So we're not married anymore. Wait a minute. I won't wait. My husband eventually promised Lisa that he would pay in installments. I then got an attorney and formally filed for custody of my daughter, child support, and alimony. And I took my daughter back to my parents' house. One of the regulars at Lisa's hotel is an executive at my husband's company, and the executive told him to pay for the stay in full. My mother-in-law had divorced when my ex-husband was in middle school, and she was planning to have him take care of her in the future. When my mother-in-law found out about my ex-husband's income, she contacted me to ask me to reconsider the divorce. I really wonder how she can have the nerves to say that after all that she has done to me. My ex-husband also calls me and says that my daughter needs a father and that we should marry again and live together. My daughter is happily living at home with my parents. I don't know what he's talking about now, since he never took care of her anyway. My ex-husband went back to his mother's house right after the divorce. He had a poor performance at work and was not a good planner, so he applied for a last-minute vacation for that trip. The fact that he couldn't pay for the hotel also became known through the company executive, and my ex-husband is feeling very small at work. Next weekend, I will be going to Lisa's hotel with my daughter. And I started a new work so I could make a solid basis for the future. It's been a long time since I worked, but it is so much more fulfilling than the marriage I had. The idea that it's better for children to have both parents together did not apply to our case. I think it's more important for children to have smiling parents. I have learned many things from this divorce. The only thing that has not changed is my desire to always put my daughter first. With my daughter, I can always give my best anywhere. People like her ex-husband seem to have a lot of confidence. I wonder where they get their confidence from. Either way, I think the divorce was the right decision. I'm glad that she has a wonderful daughter and a friend. I hope you have a peaceful life with your daughter from now on. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you like. See you in the next video.